The most improved player for the NBA. I'm going to kick it to you first, Nolan. Who do you think is the NBA's most improved player?
I would say this year there's a bit more of more agreement on this, or there should be. I think there's a clear most improved player, and I think he's going on them arguably the breakout team of the year, the New York Knicks, and I'm going with Julius Randle. And I think the one stat that stuck out to me the most is just the fact that from last year to this year, he's gone from 27% from behind the arc to 41% from three this year, which is crazy. And that's the stat that caught out to me the most, and I think that's the player that I'm going with. What about you, boys?
Yeah, I also am going with Julius Randle. Like you said, there shouldn't be a lot of disagreement with this one. It is Julius Randle all the way. I mean, nobody thought the New York Knicks would be in the playoffs, let alone 8 games above 500 and the 4 seed at this point in the season. They're obviously playing great basketball, and Julius Randle is the main reason why they are. I mean, you go down the numbers, and you talked about the – did you guys lose me there for a second?
Nope.
Okay, so you go down the numbers and you talked about the 40% from three, right? That's a massive, massive improvement, especially for a power forward that is shooting, 5 threes a game. So he upped his attempts and his percentage improved. That's incredible. What really gets me is the fact that Julius Randle's averaging 5 assists a game this year. And if you watch the New York Knicks play basketball, he's actually like kind of a mini Nikola Jokic, Giannis type, where he's a big that handles the ball and distributes the ball for them. He's been unbelievable this season. Some people have him in the MVP discussion, which I think is a little rich, but he's been awesome. He was a deserved all-star, and he's without a doubt the most improved player in today's NBA.
Yeah, so I think that's the consensus here. You look at like Vegas betting sites, and they're all in on him too. But I did want to say in the very beginning of the year, it did look like it was going to be Christian Wood. Just from the very get-go, then injuries, and I mean the Rockets lost over like 15 games in a row, and they were just, obviously collapsed from what they didn't really even have. Was a great start, but yeah, as you guys mentioned, the threes, and I did want to point out, Nolan. So you said 27 to, it was 41%. His threes, Vish, you mentioned that they went up, but how much up? He went from 3.6 to 5.4. That's 1.5 times more three-pointers a game he was taking, which is just that type of growth is like just absolutely insane from one offseason to the next. You usually either the percent would stay the same or the attempts would stay the same, but both of those increasing drastically is like actually just wild. So props to him. Minutes has gone up. He's averaged 5 more minutes a game. He's played the most minutes out of any player, averages the most. Now, some would say that's because Tom Thibodeau just loves playing his starters, and there is a little truth to that, I would say. But I think it's just impressive that he's been such an Iron Man and actually able to like play all the games and play a lot of minutes. That's averaging a little over 9 minutes every quarter. So that's insanely impressive. And Vish, the assist, obviously improved a lot, showing he's a much better playmaker. So really every aspect of his game has improved, and he's taken that step to be like the face of the franchise for the New York Knicks, which they really haven't had since, I'd say, Melo, and that was a little while ago. So props to them, and I'm really happy that the Knicks are getting back to being sort of this mainstream team that people talk about and are making the playoffs.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah, I would agree too. And I would just add that like another thing going along with that I don't think to be understated is Randall's gone from last year to this year with still scoring the most, but then getting them the record that they have now and then giving them hope. I feel like Randall's there's obviously a deep team on that roster, but he really has been the man day in, day out. And that gives all the other players on that team more of a chance to like show themselves in big moments and just lift that team up. And I just love what's going on. I just love the culture of the Knicks too, and I think Randall's a huge part of that. And it can't be understated what he's really done to turn around the franchise from last year to this year.
Certainly. So I think that wraps up the NBA's most improved player. So we all agree Julius Randle of the New York Knicks is the clear-cut favorite. Maybe some other guys like Christian Wood would have been there earlier in the year, but
maybe Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, that's a good name too as well to put in there. But yeah, Julius Randle is the bottom line winner.